Hello, happy Friday. It's Black History Month, and I got my Black History Month chats going on with some really amazing. Hi, hello, happy Friday, y'all. I'm just jamming to some Afro beats over here. It's Friday, thank goodness. And it's Black History Month. And if you've been following us, you know we have been having some chats with some amazing Black women. Yesterday was the first one. We spoke to Igwehi of Love Igwehi. Let me fill this out here. Today, talking to Jackie. Hold on. Let me fill this out. Jam. Hey! A little boogie down before Jackie comes. What's up?
Hey, Aisha. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, now let me turn off that music and let me just put this pin here for a second. Hi, Jackie.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, let me put this up. Black History Month chat.
Yay.
Jackie. All right. Okay, awesome. Very exciting.
Everybody.
Yeah, so how are you? Happy Friday.
I know. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Look, I'm happy it's Friday. I'm happy I live in California and the weather is fantastic. Right?
I know.
I feel like there's not too much to complain about. You're in Southern California, right?
Yes. So it's usually it's warmer here than it is up north in NorCal.
It is beautiful here. I went for a walk this morning and I was boiling. I felt like, oh my God, I didn't dress appropriately. So
Right.
anyway, okay, awesome. So I was saying when you just joined in, I was listening to my Afrobeat saying that obviously it's February. February's Black History Month. And I, as, a Black female business owner, wanted to use February to just indulge, percolate in Black female storytelling.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to do. And I feel like obviously our stories should be told all the time. But I, on this channel, wanted to really spend the time to focus just women that I super admire. And so yesterday was our first chat. We spoke with an amazing woman based in Oakland called Igwehi. And you are our second. And
Thank
honestly,
you.
Jackie, so first of all, I want you to introduce yourself, and then I'm going to get into my questions. Say hi, everybody who's going to watch this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm Jackie. I'm the founder of People of Color Nail Polish. It's a non-toxic, vegan, cruelty-free nail polish brand made to complement the various shades of brown skin as a first thought and not as an afterthought. Launched in May of 2019, and actually in February, Black History Month, 2019, I had this idea of a nail polish brand. I was inspired by my daughter at the time. She was 3, and her and my son would always go to my mom's house and spend the night, and when they came home, her nails were always painted. And she always wanted me to either update her color or take it off or whatever. And I didn't have anything at home to like keep up with her nails, really just nail clippers and a nail file. I would always try to push off her doing her nails again until she went back to my mom's. But it made me kind of think back to my childhood. And it kind of rekindled my interest too, because I didn't wear nail polish growing up. I played basketball, so I really just wore a top coat. And then I thought too, I was like, I never really seen nail polish shown on brown hands growing up. So I can never truly envision the colors on myself. And it kind of just made me skip wearing it altogether. So when I saw her interest, I just thought about that, and I said, well, what if someone made a nail polish brand and called it People of Color and pick out all colors that complement various shades of brown skin?
I have a whole bunch of them here. I was
Yay!
gonna paint my nails before this call, but obviously life got in the way. But I've got a whole
Oh,
bunch of colors.
I love it.
The rest of them are all here. But I was gonna do like one other of each color. But anyway,
Yes.
super pigmented and beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. I painted my nails too yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna have at least one hand done. But hey Brandy. But yeah, I just wanted to pick out colors that complemented various shades of brown skin as a first thought when picking out the colors. And so the name is a literal celebration and representation of people of color from all over the world, but also means people of color because we all live in a world of color. So that's where the slogan came from, nail polish for people of color and those who live in color. And that's the
Awesome.
story.
Awesome. So I mean, I love the idea
Mm-hmm.
of seeing a need for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And deciding, look, this is not something that I saw. This is not, I have a daughter who this is not something that she sees, and I want to be
Mm-hmm.
a part of the solution to that problem. And
Right.
then I wanted to make sure before we got into this conversation that I shared on this call, you know, yesterday in the one we did yesterday, I talked a lot about community. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you, Jackie, because you have been a huge part of my community. I
Ah,
mean, you have been, and I think, you know, we're going to talk about bootstrapping. That's the topic of our discussion today. It's
mm-hmm.
really hard, you know, when you get $5 here, $10 here, $20 together. It's tough
Right.
to run a business and to have people who you can reach out to, share resources, cry,
Yes.
whatever. And you have been one of those people for me, Jackie. I wanted to use the sort of public space to
Aw.
thank you for really living the values of community and being sort of a co-creator beside me and being an inspiration. I've loved watching you kill it. So I just wanted to say that before we get into the whole thing.
Thank you. I should too. I feel the same about you. Like you and I have crossed paths just in discovering each other and then kind of just, asking questions here and there. And then it just turned into full-blown conversations over time. So I appreciate you too for helping me and answering my questions and just bouncing ideas because we don't I mean, to be honest, being an entrepreneur is lonely. You can't talk to everybody about, the struggles of just the day-to-day of trying to build something from nothing. People don't want to hear it, or they're not supportive, or they just don't understand, which is fine. So sometimes it is a bit lonely. So to be able to find someone like you and others who have crossed paths with along the way is just, it's amazing when you find those people because we need each other.
Absolutely. It's been a blessing. And so I wanted to talk about bootstrapping, right? And for anybody who's here now or who's going to watch this in the future, basically bootstrappers
Yes.
are businesses who don't have volumes of cash, right? No one's
Yes.
giving us $500,000 check, $1 million check, $10 million. We have no massive checks coming,
Right.
right? It's like our savings, mom and dad or brothers or cousins, friends and family. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you sell one lipstick or one nail polish and you use it to buy another one.
Yep.
So it's a very scrappy approach, and I'm bootstrapped. And why I wanted us to have this conversation, in the context of loneliness is that,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody wrote you a check now for $2 million, you would be blessed to hire some people, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that being able to have a conversation with other people who are vested in the business is amazing. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
bootstrapped like us, I've seen your IG videos of you packing up and doing fulfillment pick pack. I do my own pick pack. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to talk about bootstrapping. Do you mind? Like, what's been your journey? What's been frustrating? What's been great for you? I want to hear from you on that.
Yeah. I mean, me as a person, I've always been frugal. My I like to call myself a El Cheapo Deluxe. So I'm not like
I love
super
that.
cheap, but I'm like a little over cheap. So anytime I had a business idea or I wanted to do some sort of business, I didn't have a lot of money to put into it. So I'm like, what can I sell that I could use the money that I have in my pocket, that doesn't take a lot to get started, and that I can kind of just, like you said, like make a little, put in a little, make a little, put in a little, and keep going. So even with launching People of Color, it was the same thing. Like I knew at minimum, obviously, I would need to get nail polish. So having to find a manufacturer that I could afford to start with. Sometimes we don't always start with who we want to end with, because of minimum orders and just the cost to get started. And that's fine. Start with what you can. And that's what I did. I started with someone where I could buy a little bit and just get started. And I had money to, buy my domain name and start the website. And then social media is free. So it was like, okay, that's all I need to get started. I need my website. Let me set up an Instagram and let me get the polish.
Good.
And so starting out, I want to say it was maybe like $1,000 in total. But for me, that was a lot at the time because I was going out on maternity leave. So I really only had my last full check from working. And then I was going to be on disability, which, I'm sure you probably know, is like not enough to live.
No.
So it was like, okay, like I still have bills to pay, but now I have this business idea that I want to start. But I believed in it enough to know that, okay, it's going to be a sacrifice, but I got to put this money in. And so that's kind of how it started, with just finding someone that I could start with. At the money that I had. And sometimes we just have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that story because I love what you said about, the person you start with may not be the person that you end with. And I think that's so important because, if you get into this situation where you're looking at larger companies or larger brands and what they're doing, you want to operate at that level, but there is a process. You've got to start somewhere. Again, unless you have multiple millions of dollars, you've got to start somewhere. So, hi, Beyond Polish. You've got to start somewhere. So, how did you talk a little bit? I did exactly the same thing when I launched my products. The collection that we launched with is very different from the collection that we have right now.
Yes.
And the one that we launched with, that was what I could afford. And I, went around trying to really understand, what is prestige. And then I realized I couldn't afford it anyway.
I actually, in preparation of today, and maybe you have too, I have my bottles that I started with, and then I have what the product is now. Do you have some of your old stuff?
I think that's so important for people to understand because it is dangerous. If you see somebody who's got $4 million and comes out with like state-of-the-art stuff, you're like, oh, my stuff is crap. But you have to be, okay, let me bring out my stuff.
Yes.
And then I want to see your stuff.
Okay. All right. This is exciting. Hey, everybody.
Yes. We gotta let people know it's a journey. Okay, show me yours.
Okay, so this is what I started with. Thankfully, actually, our bottles are still the same, but these are some of our old colors that we launched with. And from what people may know, we actually have 3 bars that go on the side of the logo. But when I sent the logo to the manufacturer, I sent it without the bars because I'm like, I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if it's going to be like too crowded on the front and everything. So I was working with my logo that was trademark without the bars. My trademark logo has the bars. And then look at this, the bottom label. It's just like terrible.
Did you print that yourself?
No, this is what they offered.
And that's what you could afford though, right?
Right. And I was like, hey, I have a bottle, I have a product. And then so today, like finally we have our full trademark logo on the bottle. We have, the metrics and everything. And look, we got barcodes.
I love it. See, and with the barcode, all professional. And we're going to get into retail discussions and why barcodes are important. But
Yeah.
no, so I love the level up. Let me show you mine. So let's start with, these are our first bottles, right?
Oh, I love it.
And then this is the logo, which now every time I see the logo, I cringe. I hate this logo.
Oh no,
But it was a logo that I did online.
Seeing that.
I got somebody to design this online for like $99, and I thought it was beautiful at the time.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I hated it. So it's a really plain, just sort of plastic bottle, black top, and then a really ugly logo. Which, you know, okay, ugly is not fair.
It's not ugly, yeah.
That's what we started with.
Yes, beyond
And then we moved to these.
That is so pretty.
So we did the play on bossy. So I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. So the Y is, and that's what I tried to do with this, with putting the Y in parentheses, but it just didn't work out well. So this was my level up.
Wow.
Right?
Oh my goodness. So isn't that just the exterior package? Oh wait. So what part is the actual to put on?
Let me show you. So this is a liquid. This is a liquid lipstick. This is our new packaging. It's the Power Woman Essentials collection. And then the other one, I haven't even launched it yet. We'll launch it in a couple of months or so. This is our first bullet. Oh my goodness. This is our first bullet.
That's so pretty.
Yes, thank you.
Whoa. Did you have it in between, or did it go from the tube to that?
I had from the tube to that.
Wow.
And the packaging, I've got to see, hold on, let me see. Because this is my favorite part of the conversation of take your time. So even this is not the same. I don't have the example of it, but our first box was plain black with the logo that I told you I hated, right? And then I was like, all right, we got to fix this logo, got to level up. So then we came up with this logo, and then we did plain black and just put stuff on it like, be bold, be you, you're amazing, you're awesome. But again, like I said, as I could afford it, right? I could afford this at the beginning. And then, so we had stuff like this. And then I had an illustrator create illustrations of women that we interviewed for our bossy blog.
I remember those.
I had the illustrations used as packaging. So that's how I moved it. So this was there was level 1, this is level 2, and then this is level 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then finally we moved on to these.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I love that. And it's good too that you had multiple levels, because the vision, so when we're starting our businesses, we have a vision, but sometimes the vision still usually stays the same, but the details can change as to how we want to look finally. And so I'm glad that you had multiple versions, still the same message, but just the image of your brand has progressed.
You know, and look, I mean, there's so many, look, the jury is out. But when you have no money, when you don't have buckets of cash, right?
Yeah.
You have to do what you can do at that very point in time. And so, you know, and at the beginning I was like, wait, okay, now I have this logo that I don't like, but if I try to change it, are my customers going to be like, who is this? What's going on? Someone's asking, does people of color have long wear or gel? I know it's cruelty free.
We don't have gel, but the polish, depending on your personal wear, can last 1 to 2 weeks. I have some customers that are 1 to 2 weeks. Me personally is like 6 days, which is good because I have 3 toddlers, and I run the business from home. So sometimes
you need a good base coat. You need a base coat and a top coat.
Yes.
For it to work.
Yes. And if you just take care of your hands throughout the day, it should last a decent time for you.
So Beyond Polish, I'm glad you both showed before and after. Yeah, you know what? The whole point of today's conversation is about being a bootstrap brand, right? Yeah. And what I wanted to even talk to you more about, Jackie, is just I've loved watching, like you're now in Urban Outfitters, like you're the first nail polish brand that's in all of their stores. You did something with another retailer, didn't you? Or are you in another retailer?
With Kohl's Online.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So tell us about that journey, right? Because when you start, you're saying that you had only $1,000 to start. And now all of a sudden you're in Urban Outfitters and Kohl's. How? Tell us.
Yes, yes. Oh, let me say to Dr. Wright to wear gloves. Well, I'm sure because you're a doctor, you wear gloves. And then keep your hands moisturized. That'll help prolong your mani too. But yes, getting from nothing to being in retail is sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know how and when this happened because it just happened so quickly. But getting in retail is expensive. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know with onboarding that the brand has to spend money on. So these little barcodes, they cost money and they cost a lot of money. And it's like, I don't have this money. So, you know, if you need to, if you can't get a business loan, which I didn't want to get an actual business loan at the time because I wasn't making online sales consistently to have to pay back a monthly payment. I couldn't do it. So that was already not an option for me. And then you have to humble yourself if you need to ask your friends and family for money, which I also don't still like doing. But I had to humble myself to be like, to my mom, Mommy, can I borrow X amount of dollars? Can you pay for this for me? I hope I can pay you back time. Or, you know, if whatever amount of time, like there's things that I had to ask, can you pay for or put it on on my credit card, knowing that I would just have to pay it back later. So the onboarding process, you know, getting barcodes, signing up for their software that they use to send purchase orders is expensive. And then with major retailers, they don't pay you up front.
Yeah.
You know, it's a transaction, but it's not your simple wholesale transaction where it's like, hey, pay me 50% today at your order.
They pay you like net 30 or net 60, which for people who are not in retail may not understand. When a retailer places a purchase order and they tell you net 30, that means after you have sent in all of the goods to them, they have done quality assurance and counted and made sure everything is in. Then 30 days after you get a check. And most likely your manufacturer requires all the cash for you to buy the goods.
Right. Yes, you have to pay them probably 50% up front and then 50 when it's ready to ship. And then take into that production time. So if it's taking you, your production time, let's say is 8 weeks, that's 2 months. And then let's say your terms are net 60, it's 4 months. You're putting out money until you get even a penny back.
Yeah.
So it's like, can your business operate by putting out that money and then not getting it back for 4 months, 3 months, or, you know, whatever time. So when people say, oh, I want to do retail, I'm like, hold on. Don't rush there because it's expensive and sometimes it's not sustainable. And then you still have to be at a price point that even makes sense to sell it to the retailer for, and for you to even have enough money left over.
So let's talk about that, because I think especially, hi everybody, it's Black History Month, having my Black History Month chat series with amazing women, Black women, and talking to Jackie, who is the CEO of People of Color Beauty. She makes beautiful nail polish, and we're just talking about what it's like to be a bootstrapped brand. And I want to talk about this in the context of where we saw the discussion for retail from last year with the 15% pledge. And for people who are watching this video, if you don't know about the 15% pledge, a Black woman named Aurora James basically challenged national retailers in the US to have at least 50% of your store shelf Black-owned brands. Okay? So what that did was, you know, brands like Sephora or companies like Sephora, I think, had 2%, right? So then they started to scramble. Lots of people started to scramble. And of course, in the context of what happened with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, everybody wanted to bring on Black-owned brands. However, my view is that a lot of people who are interested in retail, myself included, haven't really understood the financial cost. So
Right.
one thing is we've talked about the cash cycle, which is 4 months, right? You got to order your stuff, pay for it, send it to the retailer. The retailer's got to check it out, and then 30 to 60 days, right? Do you have
Mm-hmm.
that cash? Can you stay afloat for that amount of time? And then the costs to actually ship to the retailer, get into their software, everything. That's
Right.
another cost. But then let's talk about, so all of that is lots of cash, but let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about once you're in the store, the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna get, because you need to get people to buy the product for the retailer to decide to keep you.
Yes, yes. I actually, not to disclose who I spoke with, but I spoke with a retailer yesterday and they talked about their marketing fees. And I was just like, oh, okay. He's like, you must be talking to somebody else because I ain't got that kind of money. But it's like, there's shelf fees, like just paying to be on the shelf. There's fees for your tags and stuff, any little things that, go on the shelf or on the banner or whatever. And then you still have to push people there. Even when they do national campaigns and showcase different brands, I was told that the brands pay to be a part of that for the most part. There's occasionally times where, they may push a brand or they're doing something special to where, they're going to cover that cost. But yes, the brands basically pay to play. And it's just like, oh, well, how does that fit into a small business? Which it kind of is almost like a reverse cycle because, yes, you're bringing on all of these Black-owned brands, but one of the challenges with being a Black-owned business is we don't usually get a lot of funding.
We don't
So
have
we're
any
in your
capital.
store
So
and people
are we
are
set up to
happy.
succeed?
Yeah. So how do we sustainably grow within the retailer if we're already short on the cash to get in? We might get in, but then how do you continue to not only drive traffic from your own audience because they might still be purchasing from you through e-commerce, but how do you market to Target's audience or to
So
people that don't even know?
exactly. So this is, I mean, we don't have answers, but what I love about this series that I'm trying to curate is to disabuse people of how easy it might be and
Mm-hmm.
how you might see stuff on social media like my face is made up, I'm posting, I'm this, I'm that. Like the grind is next level.
Yes.
And all of these calls of, get more, support Black-owned brands, or, 15% pledge is great. No disrespect to those things. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we're not addressing the structural challenge, which
Mm-hmm.
is lack of access to capital.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
literally,
different types of capital because not all of us want to say, give me money, but I'm going to give you 40% of a business that I'm barely just starting.
yeah, yeah.
There has to be different ways to fund our brands without us losing them before we even get started.
Yep, yep. So it's tough. It's hard. I mean, obviously, for anybody watching, the goal is not to. I mean, we're both doing it, and we're both really passionate about what we're doing, and we are stepping and walking into our purpose. So we're
Yes.
not trying to dissuade anyone from
No.
starting their business, but we want. I really am passionate about people understanding how hard it is to be a small business owner, and more importantly, how hard it is to be a Black woman business owner. Because
Mm-hmm.
first of all, if you even think about venture capital, less than 3% of venture capital goes to female-owned businesses. And that's
Mm-hmm.
all races, right?
Right.
3%. If you think
Mm-hmm.
about Black women, I think we get like 2% of that, right? So
Right.
that's less, yes. So we get no money. And the
Mm-hmm.
point is, if we don't have any capital, how do you scale? So it's
Right.
almost like a vicious circle where you
Mm-hmm.
can have, I believe I have a great product. You believe you have a great product. Retailers are calling us, but when you start doing the 1+1 and the subtracting this and the adding this, and it's like, wait, like I'm just working for you.
Right. Yes. Or you might run me out of business.
Yes. Yes.
which a lot of times may happen because you have to literally count every penny. So to me, bootstrapping is the best. Well, this is my personal opinion. Bootstrapping is the best way to grow a business because you're learning to do a lot with a little.
Yes.
And when you eventually have a lot, you should better know what to do with a lot because you've gradually gotten there versus I have a great idea and people are just throwing money at you and you don't know what to do with it. And so having little to no funds allows you to be more creative because we need to think of ways to generate income basically with no money.
Yes.
So it's like, how am I going to make sales today?
Yeah.
And that's where the fun comes in, and that's kind of where the grind comes in because you have to get creative because you don't have, what did we say, $5,000 a day to run Facebook ads.
Can I tell that story, please?
Yes.
So, as I said, Jackie is my community. We share a lot of information. And there's some digital marketer who's been like, hey, Aisha, want to work for you, whatever. So he created some video, which actually the video was really good. So I forwarded the video to Jackie. I was like, hey, if you're thinking about Facebook and Instagram ads, there's some really good gems in here. But then I messaged her, I was like, the example he shared with me, the company is spending between $5,000 to $10,000 a day on Facebook.
A day.
I was like, if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't need a digital marketer. Like, I would be, I don't know where I'd be, but I wouldn't need you, buddy.
Right.
So
like, we barely have $5 a day to spend on that.
Yeah, it's rough. I feel like, and that not danger, right? Because I love what social media has allowed us to create, right? You said, you had $1,000, you created a product, you set up an e-commerce store, and you set up social media, and that's how you started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, how can we join your community and share ideas too? I feel like we need a community.
Yeah.
We don't have one yet, Yazitude. We're just kind of creating communities on our own. Like, we're just sort of tapping into different groups. People have relationships. I mean, I met you through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
The lady that I interviewed yesterday, a fantastic woman, Igwe, who owns a fashion company, I met her through Instagram as well. And so one of the things I would encourage you, Yazitude, and anybody else who's listening to this, reach out. Some people, I've reached out to a couple of people who either have never responded to me or have said, I'm really busy right now. Why don't you contact me in June?
Right.
Okay. So that happens, and that's okay. Like, you can't know everyone. You can't be connected with everyone, but there will be people like Jackie who will respond, or, and you start to develop this relationship and you support each other because, the loneliness of bootstrapping is tough. And I think people talk about the emotional roller coaster. Right?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Like, my hair right here is gone.
Girl,
right now.
I dyed my hair because all of it was white.
My skin is breaking out. Yeah. Yep. So it's like, and sometimes you don't even notice until you take a moment to breathe and be like, wait a second, where's my hair at?
I know. Where's my hair? Why is my face so dry?
Yes.
In my case, I spent all of 2020 so stressed out. I ate gummy bears all day, all night. They literally formed a ring around my belly.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like, even today, when I wrote you earlier and it was like, 20 minutes before we're supposed to hop on, and I'm like, oh, I'm just eating for the first time today. It's like, man. But it's rough, but it's worth it. I'd rather do this for me and knowing that I'm growing something that I hope and pray is something that's generational for my family and our community versus grinding myself to the dirt for someone else and having nothing to, I can't pass my job to my children, but I can pass what I've built. Even if it's not a business, my wisdom, I can pass other things to them. And so I don't plan to grind myself to the dirt. with people of color, eventually we will be able to hire people and hire people to help us grow and, push our vision to the world. But in the early stages, yes, it is a grind, and it's very tough. But to me, it's worth it because I know what the bigger vision is.
Absolutely.
And it makes it worth it.
I have no desire to go find a job.
Mm-mm.
I feel it is privilege though that we can find ourselves in this position to, be able to run businesses and still be able to live and feed our family and not be homeless, right?
Yeah.
Because that in and of itself is super privilege. And so I honor that every day, and I feel very blessed. And I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like that is the responsibility. Like we actually are inspiring to other people. And some
Yeah.
days when people tell me that I inspire them, I'm like, huh? Me? Have you
Yeah,
seen me
like
when
what
I
did
wake
I
up in the
do?
morning? I'm a disaster.
Right.
I'm like, don't be inspired by me. There's much better people out there. But,
Right.
it is the case. So I feel like our hustle is not just for us personally, for our
It's not.
children, but it's much bigger. It's a much bigger
Mm-hmm.
story. And
Yeah.
especially when you are in a minority group where there are not a lot of examples of success, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call it a burden. It's a responsibility in that community, which was
Yeah.
why I wanted to celebrate that this February, to say, I just want to shed, in our own little way, focus on just amazing Black women who I don't even need to know your personal struggle, but I know you
Right.
have a lot of them, right?
Right.
And you get up every day, you post on Instagram, you keep it going, you keep it moving, you keep it, you still keep the fire on. And I wanted to celebrate that. And
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of revel in it too, because I know what it's like as well. And it's hard. And
Mm-hmm.
some days you look like, the other day I was walking by a Sephora and I smiled and I was like, one day we're going to be in there. I just don't know how
Yeah.
it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen.
Yes. And you have to think like that because if you don't, who's going to do it for you?
Yeah.
You have to believe in your capabilities and your knowledge and your willpower that you can achieve what is set in your heart and your mind. And so when I look at you and I look at others who I'm just like, wow, like I'm just so proud of us. And our community, our tribe, our customers, our supporters, our people that like a post, tell a friend, comment, like it all matters because, if we didn't have you guys, what would we be doing?
I mean, shout out to our customers. This morning, I was updating my website after I got that digital marketers thing. I was like, all right, let me put some customer testimonials on this site, right? And I started reading stuff people wrote, people I don't even know. I almost
Yes.
cried.
Yep.
Almost cried. I was just like, Lord, thank you that
Yes.
you found people I don't know, who are
Yes.
seeing the vision, who get the mission, who use their money, their hard-earned money to buy my products, went
Yep.
on my site to fill up a review and love it. They love it.
Yes.
They are evangelizing the brand. I mean, is one worthy? I don't know how you say thank you to that.
Right. Exactly. It's just like that's why what we do is important because we are showing up every day for you. Like this is why. You are the why. That's why I say when I'm talking about the brand, I'm like, people of color, you are us and we are you because it's like this is our brand. Like we are growing together. We're growing because of your support.
Yes.
Everything ties back into each other. It's not just me. You guys inspire us. So it's important that we let you know that. So thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, couldn't say thank you enough to our customers and the feedback, the co-creation. I remember last year when people were saying, tag a Black-owned brand that people should know about, tag a Black-owned brand. The number of people who tagged me, girl, I was like, I didn't even know a lot of them.
Right.
I've had so many moments Oh, Igwe, he says, girl, you're about to make me tear up over here. The customers are everything. They
Yes.
are everything. I mean, when I had to reflect on 2020 and I was looking, I was like, I don't know a lot of these people and they are showing up there, buying my product. I mean, one lady bought like 10 different gift boxes.
Wow.
Like 4 items each for her friends for Christmas. I mean,
Yes.
I just,
It's like,
the gratitude. That's the stuff where, listen, when I get my little ping from Shopify, I'm here like, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Lord, thank you.
yes.
So grateful. Like somebody, when you buy something from a small business, a human being literally is grateful.
Yes. And going like this.
Yes, like after this call,
Yeah.
I'm going to the post office. It is such a joy for me to do my
Yep.
daily post office run. I'm like, this is privilege. It's not a problem for me. I'm losing
Yes.
weight and I'm making money. What?
Yes, exactly, exactly. I have a question for you. This is because we're talking about customers, and when we're first starting out, we don't have any. So it's like, how do you get your first review? How do you show your products on someone when we don't have the support and the customer base to tap into when we're first starting out? So what are some of the things that you did?
Yeah, so the first is God, because let me tell you, without God, I don't know how I would have made it this far. I think my first, social media, as you said, we set up an Instagram page and we just started posting. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just unbelievable how, you get a follower, you get 10 followers, you get 100 followers, you get people who are like
Yeah.
supporting you. So I really, really, really leveraged Instagram.
Mhm.
We also used Twitter. Those were sort of the 2 areas that I, really focused on. I would use my own personal account and the business account. I use
Mhm.
my personal account on Instagram now less about the business, but when we
Mhm.
started, I was like, look, I mean, my first community are my friends, right?
Right.
And so
Mhm.
I would say to my friends, buy my lipstick and tell your friends. And it just
Mhm.
started going that way, but it was really social media. And it's
Yeah.
funny because people say to me, like, in the beginning, when I would look at the order, it would be like my mom, my aunt, like my
Mhm.
girlfriends. And then I started seeing names I don't know in
Mhm.
Kentucky, in Maine, in Maryland, in Alaska, in
Right.
Hawaii. And some of these people, this is even before we started doing Facebook ads. So I
Mhm.
know that people, we try to create a lot of content. So I blog a lot. I try to focus
Mhm.
on, getting SEO for the website so that the website shows up a lot more in people's searches. So I blog a
Mhm.
lot. I try to use a lot of rich keywords. I do that a lot. I
Okay.
try to stay consistent on social media. I don't think that we do social media very well, to be honest, but at least I
Mhm.
try to be consistent.
Right.
And then I just, I try to appear everywhere I can in the
Right.
hopes that, people start to discover. So podcasts,
Right.
like if somebody's like, come talk on a podcast about whatever, like trees, I'm like, sure, I'll go talk about trees.
They help for the oxygen that I'm breathing right
I'm telling you, like, I love trees. They're
now.
beautiful.
Right.
They have leaves. And by the way, did you know I'm the CEO of Bossy Cosmetics?
Right.
So I'm like, anywhere you invite me, be careful
Right.
because I will be there. How about you? How have you? I mean, I think that you've built such an amazing community. Tell us how you've done that. Like your engagement on social media is amazing.
Thank you. I will say thank you. It's hard. I would say that. And also thank you to Jassy because she said God has shown up and showed out. So proud of both of your accomplishments. Keep it coming. Thank you. Thank you.
Hallelujah. God has shown up and showed out.
Yes, he has.
Yes.
But I'm thinking back to the start of our social media. Well, first things first, it takes a lot of work to get to 100 or not 100 customers, 100 followers just to be able to get insights on where the heck, your followers are, any type of analytics. So I remember that specifically because I would be at like 95 for a while,
I hate it when you get to 99
97.
and then you just won't get to 100. Or you'll get to
No.
100 and 2 people will unfollow you. It's like,
Yes. And you lose your analytics too, and it's just like, so that was forever. I will say that was forever. But like you said, consistently posting is, I don't know, you just have to do it. Like, you have to just post as if the people who you are envisioning are seeing your post are seeing your post, whether they see it or zero people see it. Yeah. You have to just continue to post, because there's a lot of times people will see one post, and if it's good enough, they're going to come to your profile. Yeah. So if they come to your profile and it's empty, or the last time you posted was 3 weeks ago, it's like, they're here, but they're not really here. Like, why would I follow an account like that? And so staying consistent with your posts, engaging with the people who engage with you. Yes. If somebody comments, takes the time to comment, write them back.
You have to respond. I mean, that is basic. Yeah. I mean, that is rude if you don't. So I mean, respond. Hi, Polish Color Cosmetics. Like, if somebody writes, I agree, you have to respond. People DM you, you need to respond, unless it's a digital marketer you're not interested in.
Right. Right. Exactly. So it's like, engage with the people who are taking time to engage with you. If you can, hop on lives. Like, I was scared to hop on any lives. It took me a year after we launched to do my first live. And I was just like, what am I going to be talking about for any period of time? And who's going to want to listen to me? But it's like, I don't know. I just started getting on and painting my nails and talking about my day and asking how other people were doing. So I think we make it complicated because we're just like, it has to be this certain kind of way, or we see bigger brands and it's just like, it seems like everything is perfect. Yes. But everything doesn't need to be perfect. We're not perfect, so.
Well, one of the things I embraced, I love that. One of the things I embraced, hi, Polish Color Cosmetics, we're good.
Yes, thank you.
Chatting. But one of the things I had to embrace is being myself. So I did a thing, I got made up today. Generally, I'm not made up. And I will be on live or Insta stories, whatever. And I remember once my mom was like, you own a beauty company. You need to look beautiful when you're on IG. And I was like, actually, no. Because the whole point about it is, I am a mother of 3 boys who are in school. I am trying to build a business. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I cannot always have makeup on. That is not realistic, and I don't want anybody to think that that is who I am, because it's not true. And I think that you know, this whole thing of being yourself, especially when you're a small bootstrap brand, we all need to lean into it, because the emotional cost of being a bootstrap brand is already high, right? We've already talked about not having the cash, not having a team, the emotional roller coaster. So trying to, all of that stuff, and then trying to pretend you're something else, it's not worth it.
No, not at all. And for those who just joined earlier, we showed our old stuff that we launched with our old raggedy labels.
Oh, raggedy, look at this.
Worn off everything.
Level up, level up, level up, level up.
Old, and then we got the new. Yes. So yes, but this is over time. It wasn't tomorrow. We started with what we started with, what we could afford. Yeah. And as we made little sales, we just put a little.
And we keep going, right? We keep going.
And still doing the same today.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just, you know, I hope we continue this way, and we continue to support one another. As women, as Black women, it is hard. There is a shared identity. There's a shared understanding. And, you know, we have such tiny businesses in the grand scheme of life, right? Like, for me too, I talked about this last night. Me competing with you or being threatened by you is the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. Right? That's crabs in a barrel. It's foolish. These, you know, the beauty industry is like a $600 and something billion industry. To be fighting with someone that's making a couple of bucks is not the way. We can collectively make 1 + 1 5. as opposed
Right.
to two.
Yes. And just think about the sheer number of people in the world. No one business can service everyone. There's enough for everybody.
There it is.
So don't be scared to, if you have an idea, a vision, do it because somebody needs it. There's enough people in the world and everyone has a purpose to touch someone. So you holding on to that allows those people that you are supposed to touch not to be touched and receive your gifts in the world.
I
So
love that. I love
think
that.
of it as being selfish. Don't be selfish.
Exactly.
Share your gifts.
Exactly. And the other thing is, when because obviously I'm in cosmetics, and a lot of people said to me, it's such a saturated market. This is a dumb idea. Nobody's gonna, there's Kylie Jenner, there's this, there's that, there's this. Like, how are you gonna? And I listened to a podcast once, and this lady, I think it's Marie Forleo, I'm not sure her full name, but she said, nobody's doing what you're doing the way you do it.
Yep.
You are your secret sauce.
Yep.
You are the reason why your business is distinguished and differentiated from anyone else. And that was the most empowering notion for me that, okay, fine, there are lots of people making makeup, but nobody's doing it the way Bossy Cosmetics is doing it. And there will be, millions of people one day who will like the brand of Bossy Cosmetics and who will want to buy Bossy Cosmetics. Not because we just make lipsticks, but because of everything that comes with that brand experience.
Exactly. And your story. And that's where I feel that small bootstrap brands, just small business in general, has an advantage over the big brands because of our stories and we being actively telling them. I mean, who started Pepsi? I mean, Pepsi, never mind. That's a bad example. That was like 18 something. But who started Target? I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know. And I don't know their personal story. And I don't recall Target telling me their story on how they got started anytime recently. And so although I might like Target, I don't have an emotional connection with the owner's story as to why they started the business. And so use that to your advantage as small businesses because we have our story to tell. It's told through our products, but you are actually getting to watch us and listen to us tell those stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Polished AF says, what a great attitude. Love the positivity and collaboration. Thank you so much for loving it. Thank you for watching our live. We're both beauty entrepreneurs. We're both moms of 3 kids. You have 3 kids, right?
Yes.
Yes. So we're both moms of 3 young children. It is not easy. I can hear my youngest, 6 years old. He's like bouncing off the walls outside this door. So I know he's trying to get my attention. But
I know. Does your door have a lock on it?
It doesn't, but it needs it. I'm telling you. Oh my word. It needs it. So it is a joy and it's a privilege to be a mom, to build my business, and to be in the same industry as you, Jackie, and to have this, communal relationship. And I really want to thank you for, having this conversation during Black History Month. I mean, every month is Black History Month, but, this is our recognized month. And I really wanted to use it to tell the stories of just amazing women that I know, and to just speak very openly about, any topic. And so I thank you for being open to having this conversation. And your success is my success. So I just
vice versa.
Continue to clap for you and wish you well. And thank you. Is there anything else? If anyone has a question, please drop it because we're almost at an hour.
That went by so fast.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking.
How much time do we actually have left? Probably like
6
5
minutes
minutes
left.
Oh gosh, wow, that went super fast. Yes, if anybody has questions, happy to answer. But if not, then this was so much fun.
Yes, if not, so here's my Friday. I've got to go drop stuff off at the post office. Then I've got to go to one of the mom's house to pick up school materials.
Oh, goodness.
And that is my Friday afternoon. Very exciting and exciting.
I know, and it's already 4 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Oh, before we do run out of time, when is your next talk? Who's it with, and what is the topic?
Oh, girl, you're quizzing me. My next talk, I think, is on the 9th of February. It's with a woman named Funlola. She is the CEO of a company called Shea Radiance. So let me actually tell you all the women I'm speaking with. She's the CEO of a skincare brand called Shea Radiance, and I'm really excited to speak with her. I think I speak with her on the 9th. On the 11th, I speak with a woman named Christine Tegbe. She is the CEO of 54 Thrones. Very excited to talk to her. She's also a skincare company, and she was featured in one of these Oprah's favorite things.
Oh, cool!
And yeah, so she's really cool. I'm really excited to speak with her as well. I love following her. I'm also speaking to Alicia Ford. She's the CEO of Glory Skincare.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be speaking to her. Very excited to learn more about subscription boxes. I don't know anything about that business, so excited to talk to her. I'm speaking to an entrepreneur, a woman who is based in London, actually. Her name is Shala. She runs a business that does balloons. So they do gift balloons, dispatch balloons. So very excited to talk to her. And I think that's it. I'm actually thinking that at the end of the month, the last one I'll do will be with my mom.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. So my mom is an investor in the company. And she's my mom, and I just want to talk to her about what it was like as a single mother. My mom was a single mom. She was an immigrant in America, and I just want to talk to her about, what it's like raising a bossy daughter and herself being bossy. So that's my agenda.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait for all of that. That sounds like an awesome lineup. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes. And I want to keep doing it. Next month is Women's History Month, so I might do some more women, but not all Black women. So we'll see if I have the capacity. I'm getting exhausted talking all the time. And I feel like people are going to be like, enough already. We've heard from you.
Yes. And Latrice says she loves your lipstick. What are you wearing today?
Thank you, Latrice. I am wearing Vixen. From our line, and actually Vixen so we're doing a Valentine's Day sale, 50% off. So I think Vixen is actually going for $6. So Latrice, if you like it, until Valentine's Day, all of our reds are on 50% sale.
I love that. Yay! So exciting. You have to look.
All right, so how do people find you if they want to find you, Jackie? Can you just say how?
Everything is People of Color Beauty. So People of Color Beauty for Instagram, for Facebook, and then our website is peopleofcolorbeauty.com.
Great. There you go. Awesome. Yay. Oh, Mimi says she has that one. It's $6 right now. It is $6 only for another week. Only for a week. So if
grab it.
We're running out of supplies. So if you want to top up, you might want to top up because people are buying them.
Yes, or you have to get the old packaging.
I know. This is all old packaging, man. Awesome.
Well, thank you, Aisha, too. I enjoyed this so much.
Awesome. This was wonderful. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much, Jackie. And I just continue to celebrate you from these sidelines.
Yes, and you too. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to keep listening to my Afro beats. Thank you so much to those of you who dialed in. That was fun. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and drop them before I hang up. But I'm enjoying my Afro beats music, and I'm loving these chats with Black women during Black History Month, our chat series. This is now the second one that we've done. We have a few scheduled next week and the week after. So every week of February, I'll be chatting to an amazing Black woman about something cool. So if there's anybody that you want me to talk to, please let me know. and I will see if they're down. It says, how do I get bossy? Go to our website, bossybeauty.com, and you should see everything there. So bossybeauty.com, or on Instagram. You can shop us on Instagram. So at Bossy Lipstick right here, you can shop us. All right, let me end this live. Thank you guys.